sikhuluma nge-taxi-ke namhlanje, i-black tax.
Black. So in my own definition and in my own personal experience, it's definitely a financial burden implication.
Sir, isingesi sakho bhuti. Amagalela.
Mina ngasifunde emehlo isingesi.
Amehlo kaZulu. Amashesi asemehla kanjani?
Amhlophe. Kodwa i-jazz i-jazz kodwa lali maroon. Mina
you can't travel because like bazothi how wazojabula ku-2 bedroom
ku-2 room enkulu.
Hayibo
Wenza kanjani?
Ufuna neMozambique ya. Ufuna neMozambique edladleni.
Kube bheda kanje.
Kuntswempu.
Yeah. Le shandisle ingahamba elokushini.
Yeah.
Igas.
Yeah.
Yabona le nto le. Just idinga leso sikhathi ukuthi umuntu ahambe aye kulabantu aba-blind.
The time sishaya on a Saturday sasigrand. Angithi sishaya on a Saturday uvuke uzizwa kanjani?
Ngeke ushap kakhulu. Phela
fresh ne?
Saqeda ibhodlela lapha.
Saqeda more than ibhodlela.
Yeah. More than ibhodlela sasangena no half.
Yeah. So that's why I'm asking.
Ikona ngase
uzizwe kanjani?
Wathi kodwa ngathi mina
wathi hayi la monti inyama ngisho sayibo mfethu. Uyabona segoli manje mfethu. Usafike la monti. Usegoli manje baba.
Wethi.
So mina what I've been realizing because I've been drinking it a lot. What I'm realizing is that angigoli after anginaye ihangover engenza manje ukuthi ngilale the whole fucking day.
No, you sharp leshandesa.
Yebo.
Izwami ngitshela. You sharp ngenye indlela, ngenye brami indlela. Because kokuqala ngangiqala ukuyitesta ngalela langa.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, angizoke ngibone saliqeda ibhodlela. Boom. Yebo. Uzosho masutha siqale ne? Oh, okay.
Okay. Mafona ku silent.
Siqale ke sibone. Yo. Silence. Sibone ukuthini.
Ayiveni le cup le.
Ayibonakala. Hayi ke siyabonga ke.
Okay. Sasibuyile ke futhi. Scripopo once again. I mean, thank you to everyone that watched last week's episode, which was episode 1.
Yeah.
Po.
Gotcha.
Hayi bafethu, yazi uthini bafethu, support yeni bafethu. Singashongo nokuthi black business, but support yeni bafethu siyabonga bafethu. Very much appreciated.
How many views?
Well, right now, I'm not sure what we're sitting on.
The last time you checked?
The last time I checked, uyangitrapha manje because I haven't checked.
Angithi ngapha.
Umfaka kwi-sport ke manje.
Desha ke manje.
Oy, yona track.
Desha
What is the number of views?
The last time I checked, which was yesterday, we were sitting on 85. Which super exceeds the expectations.
So, Mina, you know how I always view it? Is that like, abantu think that like, 85 views, no. But put 85 people in one room.
In one room, yeah.
Bebuke wena ukhuluma.
For lesikhathi kade siyisona.
Abantu 85.
Kokuqala, you're not part of my influence.
Influencer.
Yabona, and usuzoqhamuka usuzoma kubantu in kwi-space sabo, kuma-TV zabo. Uzokhuluma into ongakaze futhi ukhulume nangayo wasekuqaleni. And I mean, it was really big. I really appreciate Ilona nami i-support engiyitholile, but I was ngathuka more than anything. Ngathuka nje mfethu more than anything. So guys, thank you very much for taking your time in your busy schedules and giving us an opportunity ukuthi nideshe
bafethu. Yazi into emnandi bese ukuzwa abantu bekusenda ama message bathi hayi bese azothini from today onwards sengumdesheni ke mina.
Kade besho kwemali.
Sengumdesheni ke mina.
Ucabanga ukuthi le iculo ngisho ukuthi ngapana ngabe ngivuye ngevoice note.
Oh, okay.
Manatora, shout out Manatora lapho khona uthi ngapana. Beka siya desha ke manje.
Nazo bafethu.
Asdesheni manje. Sure, Buffett, welcome to episode 222. It feels as if like kade ngikhona la last yesterday actually, and I'm pretty much excited Buffett ukuthi ngiphinde ngibe khona lana. Akukho okunye ngizokwenza ngaphandle ukuthi sonilethela izinto okuyizona lezi enidingayo. We're still talking about music, we're still talking about current affairs. And the last episode, Buffett, we did receive a number of reactions from you and also the comment as well as what Tolile. So it was pretty amazing. So keep it up, Buffett, to keep supporting iDesh podcast with Umatingwana. and uRex namhlanje ke sizothinta ezishube kakhulu.
Sikhuluma nge-tax ke namhlanje i-black tax.
Black.
Yeah, i-black tax bafethu sithe ukuthi waqa ngakuyona last week ne.
Yeah.
But nakhona futhi asexpandanga kakhulu. Hayi bafethu i-black tax bafethu we have different experiences nge-black tax.
True.
And namhlanje ngifuna ukuthi nje sithi because we once had a chat about i-black tax, then I realized ukuthi your way of black tax and my way of black tax is totally two different things. And like I would like to bring those worlds, those two different worlds and those insights to here namhlanje ukuthi sithi uku-unpack kancane ukuthi ngifuna nje ungitshele kabanzi ngokuthi i-experience yakho ye-black tax i-experience kanjani, and then mina mawuqeda sengizoringa ngami ukuthi akusefe mina mfethu i-black tax kanje and what I think about it. Hayi no mfethu ngi-on mfethu
amatshe wodwa bram ukuthi angikhale kuyimanje yabo
angi-online mina mfethu.
No, I promise you bro, because my experience I think it's different from abantu abaningi.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
It's really different because it starts from how do you define a black tax?
Yeah.
What is a black tax?
Yeah.
So in my own definition and in my own personal experience, it's definitely a financial burden.
Okay.
You know, for black individuals, black families, you know, who are obliged or who's supposed to support some families and the extended families and stuff, you know, financially. And why are you then now put in that position as a black person to support your extended family? It's because of historical disadvantages, you know, systemic inequalities where there were limited resources and opportunities. So now you find yourself as umuntu sokuwena umuntu oqala ekhaya oqeda esikoleni, and then automatically usungena kuyona le system le ye black tax.
Eish.
Yabona? And it's caused by izinto kade zenzeka kudala, inequalities, no opportunities, lack of resources for ama black communities. Uyabona lonto le. So before nje siqale sithi kahle kahle ke wena mqozi ungena ke kuyona le black tax iqhamukapi lento.
Yeah.
Yeah. So ngichaza ngaleyo ndlela and ngiyibuye ngaleyo ndlela, and that's how I actually put myself in the mix of everything. Ukuthi kahle kahle mina mfethu I'm a result of the past inequalities. Kahle kahle mina mfethu I'm a result of ama lack of resources for my past or for my family back in the days. Yabona lona ukuthi azange bathola amathuba usharp ukuthi bakwazi ukuthi they work on themselves so that I would not be able to face the situation that I'm currently facing.
Okay, so you've just summarized what black tax is.
Yeah.
Right? So ngidinga ukuthi manje phezu usithi waqa nge-experience yakho ne-black tax, like your personal experience ukuthi, well, you don't need to name names or anything like that.
Sorry,
but
I'm
like
checking time, yeah.
Khuleka akumele manje uzugubhe kakhulu yabo, but just nje experience yakho ukuthi hey ngangafacana ne-situation kanjena, you don't need to now dive deep into your personal life, but ngifuna nje experience yakho bese black tax wena ukuthi isima kanjani, because when we had the discussion off camera ngabona ukuthi hayi ngeke mfethu i-experience yethu black tax iyahluka as abantu futhi as individuals yabo. Yeah, so mangase nje waqa ngalapho mfethu while ngisadesha la mina.
So yabona i-question yakho is very broad, but I think we're going to have to find a way on expanding more on this black tax. Ukuthi ke mina as part of this generation, how does it impact me?
All right. So kuphazamiseka kancane yabo. Kube khona ama phone call abalekela angenayo. But sesi on futhi mina ngidinga ukuthi mfethu ungithi qapho yabo ngegaba that like impacts imndeni and also individuals ngayo le black tax le.
So bro, what we need to understand as people kumina ke ngakwelami side is that black tax has a significant, you know, financial impact kubantu. There's so much impact in terms of, like, maybe I can just name about 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Financially, uba impacted because of black tax. Emotionally, you are impacted because of your black tax. Societally, socially, you become impacted as well because of ilona black tax. So zonke lezi zinto mase ihlangene zizonke, all 3 of those things put together in one person, then it starts what? Formatting indaba ye stress kuwena as a person. Now you try as an individual to formulate or to form and come up with coping mechanisms so that you can just try and find balance. That's where now uswenza khona ama sacrifices amaningi. But ama relationships asuke sekhona ngaleso sikhathi aba strenuous. Because now you can imagine sihlala le goal kuyimanje yabona abantu abaningi they don't understand ukuthi because of a black tax we have to work about 4 jobs just to stay afloat.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So already lapho njengoba usubheka financially there is no financial freedom because ngaso sonke isikhathi you need to be out there grinding baba. Uyayibona loo nto leyo?
Awusakwazi ukwenza izinto zakho manje.
Khohlwa ke awukwazi ukwenza lokho. Now njengoba ngisebenza 4 jobs ngisithola nini isikhathi sokuchilla nawo uyi out yami.
Ngithi nami ukuyithola mfethu ngale nyuke engiyisebenza kangaka.
Usithola nini isikhathi lokho? Angisikona ke lasengena khona i-stress ne-depression. Umuntu omncinzayo usithola nini isikhathi ukuthi uhlale naye? When do you get time for your
Umuse kothashazi bese abe right naye.
Khohlwa ngaleso sikhathi because for every cent that you get you need to go back and plow back from leya situation oyifakile where kunzima ukuthi uphume kuyona because remember ukuthi yona le black tax nje bathi sikhuluma ngayo iqhamuka ezintweni eziningi macingwane, right? Iqhamuka from ukuthi wena wedwa umuntu osipanayo ekhaya bonke labantu basekhaya abekho sharp. And why sekuyiyona black tax is because you're trying to better the situation ekhona edladleni. For mina nje umuntu bethu ongaziyo they know ukuthi I'm coming from an RDP house.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? From an RDP house which is a 2 bedrooms, from a family raised by a single mom.
Yeah.
Luthandi, shout out to you mom. And plus no sis bami about 3. Okay, oyedwa washeshe washona then kwakhona umdala washona but sisonke besihlala kule 2 bedroom house. At some point besihlala eroomini eyodwa back in the days and the other room was hijacked by igebenga ikhona elokishini. So we had to
Hayi.
Jaya.
Okay.
Uyayibona loo nto leyo?
Okay.
So zonke lezo zinto when I grew up and going to school it wasn't easy because ithemba lama and trust ubeyibeke kumina. Not just only uma but wonke umndeni ubeke kumina ukuthi wena because you have the opportunity you have those available resources so utilize them to the best of your ability so that you can take us out from the current situation.
So kahle ilentuzana I black tax how I'm if I'm summarizing what I'm getting from you is that like it's another way, it's another added pressure in your life ukuthi hey hamba osebenza so that you uzostakula out of lolu daka lolu.
Exactly.
And like without awucelanga ukuthi uzotakula abantu and nawe mawuthi uyaqala uyasebenza uthi yo yazi mfethu ngathi ngaba lo mjito oshama mimosa o relaxile mfethu nje mfethu nami ngishaye ngihambe ngiyobuff and shine inzipho.
Wenza zonke izinto.
But manje you think about all of the things and you like ish edladleni I need to do, I can't now be enjoying life. Nakhona futhi mawuyenza into encane kusho ukuthi ushawa guilt.
Like psychologically you get messed up.
Because manje if you decide ukuthi you wanna go and you wanna go to the club maybe for example because the club in fact like as a majida fethu like minimum spend is going to be 1.2. At other clubs minimum spend is 2k minimum. Like phela angithi even though ni amajida it's always as a majida but like and I'm not even saying the club life like some things like you wanna go travel for
buy
example
yourself something nice
but you can't travel because like bazothi how wazojabula ku 2 bedroom
ku 2 room ekubo
hayibo
wenza kanjani
ufuna neMozambique ufuna neMozambique edladleni
kube kubheda kanje
kuntswempu
ufunani
wenzani
and izinto lezi siyithola ngaso sonke isikhathi and people don't understand ukuthi that's the emotional blackmail, the one that I was talking about. Oyitholayo sometimes you even get it from your own family. Ukuthi ubona nje mhlawumbe upostile nanokudla ushaya ama-lasagna nani ushawu rich uyayibona lonto le.
But it's something you've always wanted. And it's once off, not always.
Not always. The next thing is ukuthola i-comment, naze nadla kamnandi lapho. Hey, engabe kubo badlile njengoba ku 2 room.
Fethu.
Yabona angabe kube nangu uyaposta ugqoke kahle ku Facebook. Angabe kubo kunjani maku kanje.
So lapho we CEO of a company. So you can't like let's say for example, we CEO of a company. And it's not that awubani neglectanga again. Like you are doing everything, every means. But nala igoli, you kind of have to stay in a safe environment. Why?
True.
right? Which means now uzozama phela ukuthi ube comfortable ukuze uzokwazi ukuthi mentally emsebenzini ube present.
Yes.
For the sake of your growth as well.
Yeah.
So you're gonna stay in a comfortable place. And then you're gonna try to drive a car that will safely get you from A to B.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
I'm not saying you're extravagant.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying things that are like bare minimum. Like goal you need to get into any motor because isn't as good. Commuting is it becomes expensive if you're gonna be using Uber or taxi and whatnot. And you're gonna get delayed if you're using taxis. So now let's say you're having dinner with Amanyama CEO. They're not gonna now say asambe sodla in plate ila 50 rand. So like maybe it's your like you're kind of enjoying yourself in that moment and you take a picture and you post it.
And you can't.
And then man just like ayibo.
You can't.
Usashaya lasagna manje lona.
You can't.
No endaweni kodwa kubo
Kukanje.
Now I can't.
That's the impact ekhona on individuals, my brother. That's the impact mina namhlanje, and I'm very close. This subject, this topic, is very close to my heart because it's something that I'm still currently experiencing and I'm dealing with it, and it's not easy. Yeah, but because of uklangana nabantu abafana nani whereby sometimes we have to chill, you know, and start and try to dish our way out. Kuma situations are still now. So going back to your question,
I see what you did there. Yeah, try and dash our way out.
Dash our way out from our situations esdila now. Because if you're going to sit with my issues even it can be a black text, it can be my issues of which we're still going to touch on those things as and when we grow kule podcast. But in kuyinkinga kakhulu. But not only that, ukuthi mina as a person, how does it impact me and also my family? So now it goes deeper than the black text, Macingwane. It goes deeper to a point of ukuthi each generation ezayo yona impact kangakanani. Why is it impacting me now as the current generation?
Intergenerational
implication.
Sir.
Brawam.
Isingisi sakho bhuti. Amagalelo.
Mina ngasifunde emehlo ke isingisi. Emehlo kaZulu.
Amashesa semehla kanjani?
Amhlophe. Kodwa ijezi lali ijezi kodwa lali maroon. Mina I'm one of those people emehla abalwela stays kwavalwa isikole unyaka wonke.
Yeah, uthufuna stays.
Sasithi usifuna stays, sasingafuni ufuna.
Shusi kahle impilo kade wafuna bese ukuthi ube
phezulu elevation.
No, mfethu asingene kulesingisi le intergenerational. Like, what did you call it? Intergenerational what?
To my intergenerational implications or impact. Now, how does it impact each generation, the future generation, black text, apart from impacting me or affecting me now as the current generation? So there's a significant financial strain that hinders you from accumulating your wealth as a person. Because all the available resources are now manje. Remember we touched on our resources earlier on. Black communities were subjected to limited resources. Now, we're sitting here at MTZ Studios. We're shooting a podcast. We have these resources.
Yeah.
And it's require imali. Sihleli away from emadladleni. That's another example of your available resource.
Yeah.
But now, how does it affect now the generation to come? Ukuthi abantu bangakwazi ukuthi bakwazi accumulate the inheritance. They call it inheritance ngesingisi, right? So the current available resource braming now manje is devoted into looking after my family. For every cent that I get from the 4 jobs that I'm currently doing at the moment, every cent of it, it's devoted into looking after them.
Yeah.
Now, what about my descendants? And how old am I right now?
Yeah.
Now, the personal trauma, it actually makes me even more scared to start a family of my own. Have kids of my own. Do you understand what I'm saying, Bram? Ukuthi ngiyasaba nami ukuthi ngithole ingcosi zami. Anginazi ingcosi. Ngikwi-position ukuthi ngithi ngiyasaba ukuthi ngiqale i-family yami.
Mawuletha ingcosi uzoyiletha kuphi because right now kunzima ngisho ukusave usavani because yonke le nyuku le mayifika lena it has to go support other people as well. And then mawuthola ifro mawuthi uyavuka ngefro and then like okay ifro nayo phela kumele ilende mfethu if uyindoda ngempela
True.
ifro kumele uyilethe ifro mfethu ukuthi ikwazi ukuthi uyisupport ifro as much as she's working but kumele ukwazi ukuthi ube
You are
yiprovider
a
ezomjida
provider,
yabo
ezomjida.
angisho ukuthi njalo ke uthatha umuntu umuntu oyilitch because khona abantu abama leech so lo muntu ufethu grand ozokwazi ukuthi akusupport nawe right
Ozokwazi meet halfway.
100%.
Ngiyakuvumela.
Even
Hey, i-personally ke
even
le
if-
oyiqeda ngisho manje
So-
uleach wakhona
nabo nayo songena kuyona
usuka
because
ngaphakathi.
ama-leech siyadila nawo on a constant basis and mina kule weekend ngibuya kuwona-ke ama-leech fethu nani niyazi bolova fethu olova balazi udaba I'm coming from that point yama-leech
Uzokuhlekisa mfethu. Hey, awume
but othi ngikubuyise
Yeah.
ngiyakubuyisa la le intergenerational is very hard because manje i-fight ukuthi okay ngiyafuna ukuyi-enda le cycle le
True.
because abazali bami nabo abayicelanga ukuthi babe kwi-black
Babe
tax
kule- yes.
and like abenzi ngamabomu
Yeah.
uyabo
Yeah.
isimo ababebhekene naso
True.
ukuze mhlawumbe bakwazi ukufundisa mina or bakwazi ukuthi baphile nabo
Yeah.
uyabo there was nothing they could save
Yeah.
or bangenzele inheritance thizeni yabo it was not their fault like in any way and I do not blame them
Yeah.
and it's just circumstances were just
Okwenzeka.
different from us
Absolutely.
as compared to other people
Yeah.
because now we're in a position where some black people also have the privilege of creating a trust fund for their kids and whatnot yabo.
Yes.
But most of the black communities did not have even the knowledge ke siqale lapho ke nje knowledge ukuthi
Educational aspect
mangithola
of
imali I can
Yes.
open a trust fund mangithola imali I can invest in 1 2 and 3
Yes.
one we're suffering from that
Yeah.
masithola imali asazi ukuthi soyenzani
Yes.
one so we're not really breaking the cycle
True.
we're actually creating the cycle again because now we are informationally disadvantaged
True.
yabo so like asibreak le cycle iqhubeka ngezinye indlela ke manje
Exactly.
akusakona ukuthi my dad was disadvantaged my dad just didn't have the knowledge
Exactly.
to plan
Which is exactly.
accordingly
Yeah.
ukuze ukuthi when something happens
Yeah.
and when they retire
Yeah.
when they
Kuzokwenzakala
retire,
kanjani?
yabo
Yes.
uzokwazi yini ukuthi take care of yourself because my kids now are starting their own kingdom or their own empire that's how I call it like
Yeah.
you're starting your own empire manje you need to build a foundation phela for empire yakho uyabo ukuthi okay income empire yami izoba kanje ukuze ingane mayiqala ivarsity inyuka ikhona yabo manje thina siqala ku university kumnyama
And
yabo
that's the implication, bro. That's
Okay,
the implication. It's now I'm part of this generation as implicated. Then where do we draw the line? So that I can accumulate enough wealth to look after all my descendants can inherit something of land aguyiyona.
can I answer that
Yeah, true.
okay if you give me the chance I will definitely answer that
Yeah.
where do we draw the line I think that's a question I wanted to answer where we draw the line is khona abantu njengamanje abasebenza kuma investment company they have knowledge engenayo mina nawe
Yeah.
kodwa siyahlala nabo
Yes.
sishaye sideshe nabo sihlale ema-car wash nabo
True.
but no one really talks about these things and shares the knowledge and like nabo themselves they don't implement into engicasilayo kakhulu nabo they don't implement lezi zinto abayifunda emsebenzini
But kodwa
so that
bazo-implementa kanjani
siyibone
singakhulumi ngazo?
that's the thing
We need to talk about these
so where do we
things.
draw the line let's have chats
Yeah.
let's start having as abangani let's start having engaging chats instead
Yeah.
of talking about dumb stuff all the time instead of talking about izinto kuyahlekwa nje all the time
Yeah.
we always which laughing is great yabo but like how do we then empower
Yeah.
each
One
other
another. Yes.
mangathi mawuthi mhlawumbe njengoba ngihleli namhlanje ngithi mangihleli endlini ngithi yo hayi lento engifundisa when was the last time you were like yo ayingifundile ke manje namhlanje
Yeah, yeah,
hayi
yeah.
ungibangifundise 1 2 3 you know so where we draw the line is let's educate each other
Yeah.
talk more about what you do
Yes.
let's talk about investment I don't know where to invest my money so my fee salary even if I have an excess of 10%
Yeah.
ngeke ngibone because anginayo iplan ukuthi 10% mangasofika ngawenzani to break this the
yes.
generational
Which a poverty cycle.
the poverty cycle
Yes.
of which some people have literally have knowledge ukuthi okay njengoba ushaya ipani ezo4 mangase uthi 1% kulena because now you don't notice because your mind is so fixated to the fact that like imali vele mele ihambe yonke yabo but not saying ukuthi okay if maybe you could have a sit down with someone that actually has the knowledge ukuthi yazi uthini mangase uanalyze ukuthi okay you actually can afford to go out maybe once a month.
Yes.
You can afford it. So if you were to not go out for 3 months,
kuzoba kanjani?
Kungenzeka ukuthi singayithatha leyo mali leyo whether it's 500 rand whether it's 100 rand.
Yes.
Singayithatha leyo mali leyo sifake la, masifaka la in 6 months leyo mali leyo ngasibuyisela 1 2 no 3. That's the chat we should start having.
And you actually hit the nail on its head because Leonta speaks to a solution. Yabona? It speaks to
ama-solutions speak now.
Ama-solutions and iwona la fanele ukuthi siwadiscusse manje ukuthi sizokwenza kanjani ke nawo ukuthi singa-impact the future generation ukuze kube nabo bagcine sebengena in this vicious cycle of poverty because mina I failed to accumulate wealth for them because the available resources that I have are devoted somewhere else. Yabona? And that's the intergenerational implication esidila ngayo kwemanje. Now you touching on izinto efana nokuthi mfethu so mqo what is it lento thina esingakwazi ukuthi siyenze uyabona lento okhuluma ngayo ukuthi abafethu laba abanama professions in terms of maybe the financial planners sinabo sibaningi abafethu sihlala nabo so bona benza kanjani firstly
ngidinga ukuthi before sorry to cut you short ne right now so ngifuna ukuthi singagxili kakhulu lento because I want us also involve the community as well that we're building uthi nabo kuma comment bese sithole some knowledge from them as well so we're going to close with maybe you sharing your story and then I'm going to share my story with Indaba Black Text but like I want us to also like kind of touch on possible solutions that we can sort of tap into, of which we've already started that conversation.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Possible solutions is like people that have the knowledge should start unprovoked. You know, unprovoked. Share the knowledge. The reason why I say unprovoked is because you don't know what you don't know. You understand? So ngeke ngibuze ukuthi imoto yakhiwa kanjani if ngingayazi imoto. Angikaze ngibona imoto and I don't know what a car is. I've never heard about a car. So I will not ask someone ukuthi kusefethu imoto yenziwa kanjani because I've never heard of a car. But like if you come to me and say if it's yazi kuthiwa contact imoto then I start asking hayibo imoto kanjani. So basically what I'm saying is that like people that have the knowledge should kind of start provoking us that don't have the knowledge ukuthi ekuse
kwenzeka kanjani
contact wa ile ntuzana trust and trust ispana kanje. I was watching a documentary ka Oppenheimer the Oppenheimers labo bantu abasoze babe broke fethu because they've built ama structures ama trust mfethu ukuthi trust iboleka la wena mangabe kuzala ingane entsha iyakwazi ukuthi iboleke la so ingane ingangasebenza kodwa izoba isobhile yebo lonto leyo how are those things done
singena kanjani
like those are the possible solutions when ungathini ngama possible solutions.
So kumina mfethu I think we as a black community first of all we need to adopt a new culture of raising our hands firstly. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying ukuthi abantu they need to offer solutions unprovoked but I'm saying we also need to develop a new culture as abantu abamnyama where you don't understand izinto and when you need help raise your hand and say maqingwana I'm faced with ama situations anje edladleni. I find myself over indebted because ngithatha ama decisions afana nokuthi nanokuthi now I can't get myself out of this. Fane ngenze kanjani maqingwane I am faced with a situation whereby every month mangabe ngiqeda ukuhola imali iyaphela iyanyamalala and this is not because of umdlozana but it's because of iyanyamalala iyahamba yongena
wakhuluma ivari because umuntu vele acaba ukuthi bese umdlozana bangivalele vele ngiyokhanyisa and then futhi mayethe yokhanyisa edladleni
yabo
kuthiwe you need u9k ukuze ulungise izinto zakho
into engeke
u9k awukho uyogubha omunye umgodi ke manje uyobolekayo
manje asizongena kuyona uyabona so I'm saying ukuthi mina we as a black community we need to raise our hands and start reaching out from those people who are already in the professions and say to them, guys, asaz, sacelo sizo. And I would like ukuthi ngelinye ilanga siba invite abafethu abama financial planners. If you are a financial planner and umuntu accredited to give ama financial advice, would like to have you on the show. So that you can just, expand on financial plan ukuthi yenzani nazo zonke izinto, right?
But manje I'm going to the point. Yabo leyo mfethu ngiyavumelana nawe, but I'm going to the point ukuthi you don't know what you don't know. You understand?
But ekugcineni ngeke uhlezi ukhijwa into eyodwa. Every challenge inama solutions macingwana.
100%.
So kuthiwa indlela ibuzwa kwabaphambili. Isisho leso sesizulu ukuthi indlela ibuzwa kwabaphambili. So the minute you realize ukuthi uhlezi ukribheka endaweni eyodwa, buyela back and find out what's kwenzakalani. And that's where we're going to get the knowledge from.
Imag. See, the thing is that, like, one, I'm talking about personal experiences here, mina personally. One, asazi ukuthi abangani bethu benzani. Ngiyazi ukuthi we accountant, but there's different spheres of accounting, right? I just know that the problem with us, I'm going to say gents because amachira ngwazi ukuthi how they engage mangabe bebodwa. But as sinamachita, we don't really dive into our professions ukuthi in fact on a day-to-day basis ngidila nemali zabantu mele strategize ukuthi imali kalomuntu lona isuka la it's we don't have those conversations as amajita specifically. And
fair enough,
that's why I'm saying ukuthi you don't know what you don't know. That comes from the fact that, like, let's say you're a financial advisor, right? That's a surface level. Ngiyazi ukuthi financial advisor, but we never dig deep with imagine we never ask each other imagine njobo financial advisor financial advisor ini so that's what I'm saying, that's the solution that I'm saying the first step yabo mawuthi lift your hand up and say ukuthi angazi,
it's a sign of admission.
100%. But my problem is that, like, asikhulumi from the first point.
Wrong lonto. That's the culture I'm saying ukuthi we need to start that culture. Yokubuza.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that, like, you cannot ask what you don't know. So angazi ukuthi wenzani esipanini. So I cannot ask you ukuthi yima ukuthi ngiqede. So angikwazi ukuthi ngikubuza ukuthi leskipa senziwa kanjani kanti ngiyazi ukuthi usenza kwicompany yenza ikipa ne, but angikwazi ukuphi i-department and I don't know how far in depth you go with that department. But it becomes easier for me if we're chilling like this on a normal day and you tell me ukuthi bafethu yazi esipanini ngishaya ikipa and nginokushaya ukuthi ngisebenza ngo-inki, ngiyazi ukuthi inki wenzani, I know ukuthi isize yeskipa kanjani. I am that guy, you know. Imagine if you knew all your friends would benzani on a deeper level, like on a deeper level, because you guys have those conversations. Then it becomes easier. Among ngihlele endlini ngithi hawu yazi uRex wakwakhuluma ukuthi uke wasiza i-client last week ngokuthi i-client was faced with i-black tax and bekwe i-client omlungu and then i-client sengithi black tax nomlungu into engahlangani, but anyway i-client was in debt and wakwazi amsiza ukuthi aphume kwi-debt. Sengiyakwazi ukuthi manje ke because now I have that information, now I know what to ask. I'm like, hey Rex, bro, ngiyakwazi ukukhuluma last weekend ngendaba 1 2 no 3 yabo, and like once I need assistance with that. That is why me and you are sitting here, because we had the chat and I told you that I run those services.
But kodwa khumbula ukuthi between mina nawe sobabili, I don't want us to expand kakhulu kulento because I'm funa ukuluza a train of thought in terms of our possible solutions. I had to ask you ukuthi wena wenzani. You didn't out of the blue and say mina ngumacingwane and ngenza ukuthi nanokuthi I run a studio, I run a production company nazo zonke izinto. Oh mina nguRex ngisebenza ebank. We didn't do that, but ngagcina sengibuza ushaya ini. You then expanded on what you were doing. And I'm not saying ukuthi abantu needs to be aware of ukuthi position ethize fanele ibe kanjani, position ethize fanele ibe kanjani, but I'm saying abantu needs to raise their hands up and say I'm in trouble. Asiyibeke esithebeni. Njengabe noma ngisuke mangabe ngikhuluma nabanye abafethu ukuthi nginenkinga kwemali engazi ukuthi debit audit is I'm not going to be able to honor it. How yini ghost ngasuke ngathatha personal loan kanje ngathatha ne credit card ngathatha nanokuthi now I'm in debt. Oh uyazi mfethu khona umjithe engimaziyo oshaya financial plan kanje maybe you need to sit down naye oh hey ngishaya naye stress angisakwazi ngisho nanokulala ebusuku you know I wake up ngabo 2 ekseni I know lalela bra I depression leyo so what all you need to do is you need to go and seek for therapy nazo
1, 2,
zonke
and 3,
izinto
yeah.
so all I'm saying ukuthi abantu needs to speak out
Which means asikhuluma.
asikhuluma.
Okay.
And that's the part engisho ukuthi in the black community lento kuthiwa ukufela ngaphakathi fanele siphele kuyona. Nokuthi futhi fanele sibuze abanye abantu ukuthi for you to get to this level ufike kanjani khona? How did you navigate around? How did you dash your way out of lento eyimpilo?
Bese umuntu lombuzayo ngathi angayeke ukuthi ngisebenze kanzima bro wami. Bese akushiya kanjalo.
And izinto lezo you can't blame them but ekugcineni abantu bangabe besho kanjalo amunye mhlawumbe uyanqena ukuchaza omunye mhlawumbe unezinto azenzayo ezingekho
Align.
engqondweni ewushaka uyabo ngoba
unama meeting ebusuku
bakhona abanye abenza kanjalo so and that's my first point mfethu ukuthi abantu needs to raise their hands up and admit mangabe benenkinga sign of admission ask for help ask for directions kuthiwa ngesizulu cela indlela buza indlela kwabaphambili number 2 there needs to be some government uthi angenelele kulento le government
black taxi
yeah
ungena kanjani ugovernment
mina ngeyami indlela engiyibuka ngakhona ugovernment needs to implement ama policies